have brought one of our moms who gave birth not too long ago to talk to you all about some of her decisions and things that she faced. And of course, we want to know your birth story. So my first question is, what made you choose to have a doula?
I chose to have a doula because my first birth with my first son, I didn't like that experience. I didn't like that experience. I felt like I needed someone there to be like an advocate for me, because it was my first time having a baby, so I didn't know what to expect, and also the people were just really impersonal, and I really didn't like that. I did not like how impersonal they were. They weren't answering my questions. They weren't as respectful as I thought they would be. I just didn't know what to expect. And with experiencing everything that happened with having my first son, I was like, nah, if I have a baby again, I'm going to have a doula. Like, I have to have a doula because at least I know I'll have like someone to advocate for me. And then also someone that has the knowledge that I don't have that would help me with, getting this baby out. And with my boyfriend being there that first time, I mean, he didn't really know what to do to help either, except, hold my hand. So I just wanted someone that was knowledgeable about babies. Eli in the back, like, what's going on? But so yeah, I just wanted like a teacher. I wanted someone that could be like a teacher and an advocate for me. So that's why I was like, I need a doula next time. And so I got one.
Okay. And how did you find your doula?
Oh, it's so funny. We were actually already friends on Instagram because of a friend that I was friends with. I don't even know how I met that person, but I just happened to see her post something on Instagram and I'm like, oh, she's a doula? Oh my goodness, let me hit her up. So I hit her up, we talked, and I just already liked her vibe. So I was like, yeah, let me just see if we talk and how it goes. Like, we'll just see. And then we talked, and we even talked about how we had that mutual friend. And I was like, yeah, she's cool and she's very knowledgeable. And although like she's very friendly, she's also very professional. So I was like, yes, that's who I want my doula to be.
And tell us who your doula was.
Oh, I didn't even say her name. Evonna. I love her so much. Shout out to you, Evonna, if you watch this.
I'm sure she will. And after you met Evonna, how did you get introduced to BirthWise?
Well, while being in the hospital, we were having complications as far as Eli was, he wasn't descending. He wasn't descending, even though I was dilating. So she was like, okay, let me call my mentor. And then, there was you. There was you. And I was just so amazed. Like, I was just so amazed that you just knew what was going on, even though you weren't there. I'm like, how does she know that the baby is on this side and his head's like that? Like, I was just amazed. So I'm just like, I'm just going to do whatever Toni says. I'm going to do it. I'll get on the bed. I'll get down. I'll move this way. I'll do whatever she wants me to do. Because the fact that you even knew what position that the baby was in, just off of like just hearing me talk, like, that's just amazing. That's just amazing. Whoa, that was amazing. That was amazing.
So with that, that's kind of a little segue into the next question, because what everyone is going to want to know is, what is your birth story? Can you tell us about the birth of your baby boy?
Well, it was very long. It was very long. So the night before, my water broke, and I was originally supposed to have a water birth. So yeah, my water broke. We drove to the hospital and we were there. Let's see, I think we left the house and got to the hospital around, it had to be like around 10 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock PM. And when we got there, I was having contractions, but they weren't like really strong, but they were enough to make me be like, okay, we need to stay here at the hospital. So, I'm trying to think. I was there for a good like 6-7 hours, and my contractions at one point completely stopped. Like it completely stopped. I wasn't in pain anymore, and we're just kind of sitting there like, what's going on? What's going on? So then, I guess since it was taking so long, they were like, okay, the nurses were like, okay, we want to see if you would try like Pitocin. Would you get Pitocin to start making the contractions closer together, because like they were far apart, and they were also starting to just fade because they just stopped after a while. So I was like, well, okay, okay, I'll do the Pitocin. And this had been like, it had been, I think, like I said, 6 to 7 hours. And then, the contractions were getting really bad. They were getting really bad. So Evonna and my boyfriend, they were there with me, and I was on, the ball. We were just trying different positions. I was doing yoga. We were doing everything just to try to get Eli's head to come down. And it just was not coming down. And they would check probably every couple hours to see where he was at. And it's like, I was dilating, but Eli's head was not coming down. So we're just trying to figure out what we could do. So I know we spoke to one of the nurses, and we were like, okay, so what do we do now that his head is not coming down, but I'm still dilating? So she didn't really help, really. She didn't really, she did say like, move to this side, but it wasn't nothing like, okay, get into this position, use this, do that, do this. Like she wasn't really, it's almost like she really didn't care. And she was like, well, I got all these other patients, so I need to see what they got going on. So, and then throughout all of this, I am just in pain. I'm trying to breathe through the contractions. Oh my God, it was so painful. And I was just getting so frustrated because his head wasn't coming down. So after a while, it's like one of the, was she a nurse? I don't know what she was, if she was a nurse or I don't know what she was, but we had someone that kept putting me on the monitor, like every hour or two, she would come in there and put me on the monitor just to make sure Eli's heart was still beating and stuff. And she wouldn't let me move around after a while. And at one point I started feeling like I had to poop. I felt like I had to poop or something. And she wouldn't let me get out of bed because she was like, oh, you have to stay on the monitor. But we were just like, how are we going to get this baby out or get him in the right position if he's if you won't let us move around? So I'm not sure at what time, because I was just in so much pain that I just don't know at what point Evonna made the call to you where she was just like, hey, this is what's going on, and explain to you what's going on. So I know we spoke with you, and you told me to try these different positions. I know at one point I was like on my hands and knees. I can't even remember because I was just in so much pain, but I know I was on my hands and my knees, and I know I was moving from side to side. I know at one point I was squatting, and we were just trying these different positions. And then it got it started getting later. And I know you said we should call you back. And it started getting later, and it was getting closer and closer to that 24-hour mark of me being in labor. So, but it wasn't quite there yet. But it's like I still had that urge where I'm like, okay, I feel like I have to use the bathroom. I feel like I have to use the bathroom, but the lady kept saying, don't move. You got to stay on the monitor. So we didn't care. And Evonna and my boyfriend Marty, they helped me go to the bathroom, and it's like I could feel that he was trying to do move his head, but they kept trying to say he wasn't dilating yet. So I know we still were doing different positions. We were trying different things, and we were just ignoring everything that the nurse was saying to do as far as sitting down. And
we didn't ignore.
Well, okay. Not ignore. We did not ignore. We just made some of our own
preparing for a cesarean.
Right. So
I told you that I'm gonna have to get you to go up off this bed.
Yes. And we spoke to you, and you were telling me you were telling Evonna to tell me, the different positions. And at that point, I'm just like, yes, anything. I'll do anything. I will do anything. Let's get this baby out. Okay. And then, I know after a while, the nurse that kept putting me back on the monitor, she was saying, oh, you need to get back on the monitor. But then she also started saying, you can't do the water birth anymore. You can't do the water birth anymore because it's been 24 hours, but it wasn't quite 24 hours yet, because by that time it was like 6-ish, 7-ish or something like that. And 24 hours would have been like 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. So we were kind of like going back and forth with her at one point, like, I feel like I should still get the water birth because it has not been 24 hours. And she was like, no, the doctor said it has been 24 hours. So I kind of went back and forth with her. But then at that point, I just was like, I just want an epidural at this point, because I'm just in so much pain. Y'all are not letting me get in the water. I don't know what to do. So then I know we were still doing the different positions, but then I feel like his head, oh my goodness, Eli is crying. Can I go get him so he can, okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so here's Eli. He wanted to be on here too, I guess. So where was I at?
It's so funny because we didn't get aggressive with the position changes until you were told that you couldn't get in the water. At that point, we had to calm you down.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I remember. Yes, I remember, because I was just so frustrated because it was just such a long day, and I was in so much pain, and it just almost felt like she didn't care. She just didn't care. And so yeah, and I just remember, we were just still trying to do these different things to get him, in position. And finally he got in position, I guess. And I know when you and me talked about it, you said he had finally tucked his head. And because then I do remember when they, at one point when they were, it's almost like they were getting ready for the C-section because his head wasn't coming down. But then I do remember there was one doctor person lady. Was she a doctor? And she was probably like the only one that when she came in there, she was like, get her off the monitor. Get her off the monitor. She does not need to sit down. Like, why does she keep putting her on the monitor? Get her off the monitor. And that's when she also was saying, okay, do this, do that. It was just also trying to say like, okay, we want to make sure that the baby is in position so that since you are deciding to, you know, get this epidural, because she did ask me if I still wanted to do the water birth. And I'm like, at this point, like, I just want the epidural. Okay. But I know they, like, some other doctors came in too as well. At this point, it's just kind of blurry because I was just in so much pain. And just, I know at one point they came in with the needle and to do the epidural and stuff like that, but they were also still kind of helping me with getting in position, moving my legs and doing things like that. And his head was finally starting to descend. And after like 3-4 pushes, he was out. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then they were high-fiving themselves. And I'm just like, okay. All right. I know the one doctor, I can say at least the one doctor that was saying she needs to get off the monitors, like get her off these monitors. I don't know why you keep doing this. I can say she definitely helped, but the rest of them that were high-fiving them each other, I'm like, but where was y'all at?
Yeah. When I remember, because I was talking to Marty because he was there, and I was like, we're gonna have to rock the baby off her pelvis, like it, because you were telling me where you were feeling pain and pressure. And so I remember asking him, like, honey, I need you to pull that leg and get up and down off the bed. And then they were preparing you for they were trying to get you to do the cesarean, which, you know, in all truth and honesty, who knows, it could have happened, but you kept saying, I feel like I have to go poop. I feel like I have to go poop. And I was like, that baby's head is engaged. And they finally checked you and you were ready. You only pushed like 3 times, if that. You really pushed like 2.5 times.
Probably. Yeah, because it was quick. It was quick after that. It was very quick.
Did you have any trauma to your body with us?
No.
No tearing?
No tearing. No tearing at all. Thank God. Thank God.
You did it. And we are happy that you did. We were happy to be a support, you know. Things happen, but we do believe in physiological childbirth. We believe that we can assist when there really is nothing medically wrong. So.
Right. Yes. Thank God. Thank God, because so close. They were so close to try to give me that C-section. So close.
Yeah. They asked you quite a few times. But to be fair, and you know that I use Eli's picture quite a bit for teaching. He had that perfect indentation in his head from either your pelvic ridge or I'm pretty sure it's your pelvic pubic bone right there in the middle top.
Yeah.
Yes. So he is the poster child for physiological childbirth does work. Just that index. I mean, it was deep and it looked like his hair was parted.
He did. He did. He did.
He did. So, did you receive any postpartum care from your doula team?
Yes, she did. She did come over. She gave me what's it called? The seat, what is it called again? Like the yoni steam seat. Yes. Mm-hmm. She gave me one of those. She asked me, of course, how I was feeling. Like she basically checked up on me almost every day, basically. And then at one point she came to visit as well. And that's when she gave me the seat. She gave me a lot of information as far as like what, you know, just different types of things that could help me. And she would just always ask me, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? Pretty much every day, every single day. And I just love Evonna. I just love her. So yes, I did receive postpartum care. She was very, very supportive, and I'm truly, truly thankful. And I also got calls from you. Messages from you, also checking on me as well. And I'm super thankful. Also, you gave me information as well, and I'm super, super thankful.
We do our very best. Here's another question that we get asked a lot. If you could tell anyone what was the best part of having a doula, what would you say that?
I would say the best part was having someone that was basically like an advocate for me, because like I was saying earlier, when that nurse kept trying to keep me on the monitor, Evonna was willing to be like, okay, no, we're gonna get up, we're gonna try these positions, and the fact that she called you and got the information from you, and these were things that I don't know. These are things I don't know. So the fact that I had someone with the knowledge, and then also had someone, on the line with the knowledge as well, it was so helpful. Like, it was so helpful, because who knows what would have happened if I didn't have you guys there to give me that information to try these things. It would have just been, I probably would have had some trauma, or I probably would have had that C-section, or, so that's the best part, to have someone that really speaks up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what we were saying is that you're still next to the bed, so you are still on the monitor.
Exactly.
So the idea that you had to, if you moved, you weren't on the monitor, is misinformation. And yes, if there was a reason for you to be still, we encourage you to ask for more information as to, because you weren't on an epidural, you were naturally laboring. So
exactly,
we do try to ask them, because anytime you stop moving, we were worried about you. So ask. We always tell you to ask your providers why. As well as, we know you, and we know what is agitating our moms. And if you can stay on the monitor, standing next to the bed versus sitting, unless they have a reason for you to sit, why not stand up? So that's true. If you could tell anyone about me as a doula that they should know, what would you tell them about?
I would say that you know what you're talking about, and they need to listen. Because it's like it's almost like I know you're knowledgeable, you're definitely knowledgeable, but it's also intuitive. It's also intuitive. And I feel like some people don't have both. Some people don't have both, where they just have the knowledge, but they aren't intuitively in tune to know what's going on. And I would say about you that you're very knowledgeable, but also very intuitive, and you use both of it together to help your moms out. Because it's just like I said, just like how you were just saying, like, oh, okay, that when I told you how I was feeling, or Evonna was telling you, it's like you just knew from, like, you just knew. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words, but you just off of me saying how I felt, you knew what was going on. Some people would have to be like, well, like they would have to think about it. They would have to think about it. And you have the knowledge, but it's also like intuitive, where it's almost like a connection with spirit, And I really admire that. We need more people like you. Okay. We really do. Cause It's giving me goosebumps.
We want you to have that connection. We want you to have that fulfilling experience that you deserve.